All right, let's talk about a skill that can totally change the game for how you learn. We're going to move beyond just letting your eyes glaze over words on a page and get into how you can actually understand and, this is the big one, remember them. You know the feeling, right? Your eyes have passed over every single word. You flip the last page of the chapter, you close the book, and poof, it's just gone, like it never even happened. That is the classic sign of passive reading. And that right there, that's the big difference. A passive reader just kind of lets the information wash over them. But an active reader, they jump in, they engage with it. It's the difference between hearing background noise and actually listening to a conversation. So let's talk about how you become that active reader. Yeah, this is really about changing reading from a chore you have to get through into an active, engaging process that you're actually a part of. So what is this active reading thing, really? Well, at its heart, it's a mindset. It means you're being deliberate. You're showing up to not just read, but to interact with the text, to ask it questions, and to see how it connects to everything else. And here's the thing that might surprise you. Effective active reading doesn't start on page 1. Nope, it actually starts before you even read the first sentence. Getting yourself ready is what sets the stage for everything. This prep work has 3 key parts. First, just preview the text. Skim the headings, look at the pictures, read the summary. Get the lay of the land. Second, wake up your brain. What do you already know about this topic? And finally, set a goal. Ask yourself, what do I want to walk away with after reading this? Okay, so you're all prepped. Now the real work, and honestly the fun, begins. Your job now is to stop thinking of reading as a one-way street and start treating it like a two-way conversation with the author. This is the big mental switch you have to flip. The author is presenting their ideas, sure, but you're not just a silent audience member. Your role is to question those ideas, to connect with them, and yeah, even to challenge them. You actually get a voice in this conversation. So, how do you talk back? Simple. You annotate. Underlining or highlighting? That's you saying, hey, this part's important. Writing notes in the margins? That's where you ask your questions or jot down your thoughts. And trying to rephrase a complicated idea in your own words is the best way to make sure you've actually got it. But just making marks on the page is only step 1. The real engine of understanding, the thing that unlocks everything, is curiosity. It's all about asking the right questions while you're reading. This is always your first, most important question. What is the author really trying to convince me of here? Seriously, if you can't answer this one question, you've kind of missed the whole point of the text. Next, you gotta put on your detective hat. An argument is only as strong as its proof, right? So your job is to find it. Are they using data, personal stories, quoting experts? Finding the evidence helps you figure out if their claim actually holds up. And finally, this is where you really level up your critical thinking. What is the author not saying? Is there another way to look at all of this? This question is so crucial because it stops you from just passively accepting a single point of view as the only truth. So asking questions is one half of the conversation. The other half is all about building connections. Because information is so much easier to remember when you can hook it onto something that's already in your brain. These connections basically happen on 3 levels. You've got text to self, which is when you ask, how does this relate to my own life? Then there's text to text, where you connect what you're reading to other books or articles you read. And finally, text to world, which ties the information to the bigger picture of what's happening out there. Okay, so you've done your prep, you've had a conversation with the author, and you've built all these connections. You might think you're done, but hold on, the work isn't over. The final, most critical step happens after you close the book. This is where you really make it stick. This final phase is pretty straightforward. First, summarize it. Can you explain the main points in your own words? That's the ultimate test of whether you got it. Second, evaluate it. Did the author convince you? Why or why not? And finally, apply it. How has this new information changed the way you think? And that's it. That's the whole journey. You've gone from being someone who just consumes information to someone who actively participates in their own learning. You become a critical, engaged thinker who really, truly understands the material. Now remember, this is a skill. It's like learning an instrument or a sport. It takes practice. You won't be a pro overnight. But if you intentionally work on these strategies, you are going to unlock a level of understanding and memory that is absolutely worth the effort. So as we wrap up here, the final question I have isn't for me, it's for you.
With these tools in your pocket, what are you going to choose not just to read, but to truly and deeply understand next?